Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And what we have here is essentially a kart racing a game in which in which eight members of the Mario franchise battle against each other. You've got 50cc or 100cc class. 50cc class is slower and therefore easier. 100cc is obviously is a bit harder, and there's also 150cc if you manage to do well enough in the 100cc. Now you've got Mario, Luigi, Yoshi, Princess, Bowser, Donkey Kong Jr., Toad, and Koopa Troopa. The latter two have the best traction but slowest speed. Donkey Kong Jr. and Bowser have the fastest top speed, but their acceleration and traction is very poor as a result. The Princess and Yoshi have the best acceleration and okay speed. Mario and Luigi have good speed and 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 okay traction, and you've got three different cups as well as an unlockable special cup race once you've done well enough in the other three cups. Now if you start accelerating at just the right time, you can get a fast start like that. When you have to do it depends on which character you are. It's a little bit different for each one from what I can make out. And driving over these question blocks allows you to pick up a power-up. That one there gives me 2 coins. Now in the bottom right corner of my display you can see that I've got 7 coins. Now what that means is that you can go far. Each coin you pick up increases your top speed up to a maximum of 10. The rest is surplus. So having a surplus is good because if other racers run into you or use their weapons against you, more about the weapons in a moment, then you'll lose some bananas. That's a speed up. You can use that. You can use power-ups like that to take shortcuts, like I just did there. And each of these races has 5 laps. Now, when it comes to selecting a weapon, you can either wait for it to finish cycling through, or you can press the A button to stop it at any time, like I just did there. It's giving me coins again. And I came first there. Donkey Kong Jr. came second, Princess third, and Mario fourth. You have to get 4th or better in order to qualify for the next race in the cup you've picked. So that's how it all ended up at this end of the first race. Now on to the next race, and the position you finished the previous race in is where you start the next one. I didn't quite time the fast start well that time. That was a green shell. I could either fire it in front of me or just plonk it behind me on the track. And you can also do power slides by using the L and R buttons, and pressing L or R allows you to do a tiny little hop like that. It's not enough to jump over power-ups, but it can jump over little gaps. I use the speed up to take a shortcut there. Normally you'd slow right down if you went across the grass like that. That's a power slide I just showed there. It's in some ways it can help you get around a corner without slowing down. That can be particularly handy if you're using a faster character such as Bowser or Donkey Kong Jr. because their acceleration is so poor. If they had to slow down too much, then it could make it very difficult for them to catch up because of their slow acceleration compared to the other racers. The banana skin, like the green shell, it's like the green shell. You can either You can either drop it behind you or fire it into the air in front of you. Be aware that firing into the air in front of you do have to have a good idea of how far the banana will go. Coins. There's also a red shell which homes in on the racer in front of you. However, unlike the green shell, which will endlessly bounce off walls until it collides with another racer or another shell, the red shell will be stopped and lost if it crashes into even the slightest wall or other obstacle. So make sure there is an absolutely clear path between you and your intended target. Another power-up you can get is a feather, which allows you to do a much bigger jump in the air. And there's also a lightning bolt, which shrinks all of the other players and makes them a lot slower, and you can run them over. And in these Ghost Valley stages, you can fall off the edges. So where there are no walls, like there, you can fall off the edges, and it'll cost you coins for Lakitu to pick you up and put you back on the track. One thing is a nice touch is that all the different carts have different engine sounds. I mean, my engine sounds the same as Koopa, who's right in front of me just there, but that's Bowser's engine. As you can hear, it sounds very different. Another speed up. And when they're CPU controlled, the other opponents have their own unique power-ups. Yeah, as you saw there, Donkey Kong Jr. drops bananas or throws them in front of you if you're in a higher position. And the Princess drops those, and if you drive into those, they shrink you and make you a lot slower and vulnerable, a bit like what happens if... So you have to be very wary of those. Notice I did a little jump to get that. Now you notice that when I fired that green shell, one of those power-ups that Princess had laid disappeared. When the original Japanese version was brought to the PAL regions, because of their bigger screens, slightly slower speed, amongst other things, the Super Mario Kart had to be reprogrammed and tweaked to get around slowdown issues to a normally plagued that kind of thing. So some things got tweaked like that in order to keep the frame rate from severely dropping. In the two-player split-screen mode, there are fewer obstacles on some of the courses for exactly the same reason. Yeah, I got a fast start just then. Bowser Castles. Those thwomps just stay up until you've completed the first lap, and then they start to drop down, and they can squash you if you're not careful, or just get in your way. Nice use of mode 7 on the track. See, now the thwomps are active. I'm going to keep this red shell in case anyone overtakes me. Then I can. That red shell is the homing Koopa shell that homes in on anyone in front of me. Well, the racer that happens to be in front of me at the time. Oh, say the thwomps can just stop you in your tracks. And yes, they can actually squash you, and that can take even longer to recover from. The big number in the bottom right corner is my position in the race, so I'm in pole position at the moment. Lap 4. Yeah. Parts of that particular bit of the road are a little bit skiddy. The ones that don't look like brickwork are harder to steer on, even with Toad and Koopa. Yeah, I'm still going to keep hold of this shell though, just in case. These chevrons speed you up. I nearly hit that banana skin. And in case you're wondering, even if you laid a banana skin or shell yourself or whatever, you can crash into your own shells, so be very careful. And you can crash into any banana skins that you laid yourself as well, and you'll be punished just as if it was someone else's that you ran into. As well as the racing modes, there's also a 2-player only battle mode where each of you has 3 balloons, and you're trying to use the various power-ups on the course that you're on to burst all 3 of your opponent's balloons. And I can't actually demonstrate that because it's 2-player only, but it is a lot of fun. Oh, I've tried to jump over that, but I didn't quite time it correctly. So see, our green shell bounced off the back wall. Had that been a red shell, the moment it hit that wall, the red shell would have been lost. Another speed up. I know exactly where to use that. It's a little bit tricky to use, but I know where I need to use it. By giving myself a double speed boost, firstly from the mushroom power up and from the speed chevrons that's already there, I was able to jump even higher than normal. Red shell, see it homed in on Mario because he was the one that was in front of me at the time. I've got only 1 coin, so I can 4 coins now. Oh god, I nearly hit that thing that Princess dropped just then. Right, banana skin. I'm firing it ahead of me. I know I can do that because I've done it loads of times before and I just crashed into that. There's the banana skin I've just thrown, but unfortunately it's not in an ideal position, so... See, when Donkey Kong Jr. rammed into the back of me, he took a coin away from me. Like I was saying, collisions with other racers cost you coins. You don't want to be touching Mario or Luigi while they're flickering like that. They'll send you spinning, cost you coins. Not to... Oh, so nearly beat Princess. So that's Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Even after all these years, it still plays really well. It's still quite a challenge, even when you're on the easier difficulty settings. But it's not so difficult that it's completely unfair. I won the entire Mushroom Cup, so you get this little celebratory thing and a bit more use of Mode 7 in a moment. There, that pulsating was done in Mode 7, and so was that. That cheap was the background. Everything else is a sprite, as I've said. Mode 7 is for manipulation of backgrounds only. Everything else will be a sprite, regardless of what it is. So graphics are really nice cartoony style, which suits the franchise. And so I'm just going to get onto this bit so that the music's not as loud. As I said, graphics are really nice, nicely animated, great, very detailed. If you allow for that, they're cartoony. And the Mode 7 effect, although a little bit blocky at times, works really well, and seems to. And things like pipes, which are not part of the Mode 7 effect, seem to stay in pretty much the right position in relation to things on the track, so it doesn't ruin the illusion too much, if at all. Sound is really good. You got some nice jaunty little tunes in the background. Each kind of stage, like Mario Circuit or Donut Plains or Bowser Castle, has its own tune associated with it, and the sound effects are suitably Mario-esque. And yeah, I don't have any problems with the sound either. Gameplay, fun, exciting, challenging, enduring, addictive. it's not hard to see why this remains one of the most revered racing games on the Super Nintendo, and it's still a lot of fun to play after 28 years, which is what it is at the time of this review, 2020 versus its 1992 copyright year. So yeah, it's a classic without a doubt, and it's still a lot of fun. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.